Welcome, leader. In this video I will share you practical tips and analyze different scenarios how to deal with anger and resentment in close relationships like with family members or your significant other. And outcome of this video is to give you clear strategies, clear directions, how you can increase your energy. That means physical energy, more energy to get stuff done so you achieve your dreams faster. Emotional energy, so relationships become more harmonious, more fluid, and mental clarity, more focus and more awareness at the same time, and ability to choose where do you want to focus your attention. And I suggest you focus your attention towards achieving your dreams, whether it's having really amazing relationships, having a legacy business, or both, or anything in between, and all combined. So let's get on. This video is inspired by watching a recent reel from Alex Hormozy, where he shares different dynamics within his close family. So for sake of this video, I will analyze situation between father and son, and what are the possible options, typical reactions, where do they lead, what to expect, and if that's the road you've been taking, and if that's the case, maybe you want to change something, and what are the better options, step by step, different ways how to deal with it. So I will show you the basically progression, how to progress from where you are, and you will identify where you are, and then you can see what's better than that, what's the next best thing, what's the next best thing, and basically, and of course, if you find this video useful, or subscribe for this channel, like it, comment. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'm happy to help you. That's why I'm here, to raise your consciousness level so you have more energy, so you achieve your dreams faster. So let's get on it. So let's start with a scene where there's a son which feels being attacked by his father, and let's say my worldview is that world is our mirror. So in this video I'm not really going into the details. Did the son project this whole thing from his insecurities and then cause the father to act certain ways? This is not something I'm going to explore in this video, but that's certainly one thing I do explore with my clients, so that they can take full responsibility of their life. So let's say your son, and suddenly you hear like a sharp and really offensive remark from your father, like "get over here," or "why didn't you clean up this mess?" Like, it feels a bit aggressive, and son feels attacked. So there are two reactions how son could react to this attack. So whenever I feel attacked, I have two choices, and most people call them trauma responses. I don't like the word trauma, which makes a person feel like a victim, and I don't subscribe to these labels. I would say just learned low energy state response. Like, it's a natural response when you're low energy state, and if you increase your level of consciousness, your normal reactions are much different. So let's say son is in a low energy state, he's already worried about something, and well, actually, yeah, because son is actually worried that's his energy state, his response will be a low response, but the feeling would be the same regardless of the energy state. So sun receives attack, and on a low energy state there are two general reactions. One is, I'm angry, I don't want to hear that, I'm gonna attack back. So whenever I feel attacked, I can either attack back, so I have a distance between emotion, or I can play a victim and say it's my fault, I internalize it and feel resentment, and then it turns into resentment because I shouldn't be feeling these feelings. It's not my feeling in the first place. Why am I here in this situation? So basically I absorb it completely on me. It's my fault. So both of these responses, either attack back or internalizing as a resentment. Attack back is expressing anger directly, and internalizing and having resentment is also very dangerous for the body. So if I'm attacking back, what is happening? So imagine these two people. So father sends me attack, I send attack back. So now there's this attack energy between us. So this anger energy, there's a tension, and it's not a very nice environment to be in. It's anger in short term is energizing for the body. It calls to action, so it feels almost great, like awesome. I'm strong, like I'm remembering how strong I am. But if the anger is directed at a person, they feel attacked now. So even if the father didn't felt like he attacked you, now the father feels like I'm being attacked. Why am I being attacked? I was like, I just wanted something good for you, you know, because father might have not noticed that they even attacked you. So, but the son feels father did it consciously. Like, why does father treat me like a dog? Like, what is he up to? Like I'm not a dog. And son would start thinking like these things. And because son starts identifying with this worldview that father is attacking him, he's treating him like a dog. Of course, there's anger because I'm not a dog. Like, who you're speaking like this? I'm not a dog. And suddenly I would say, pride and confidence kind of like artificially roses in the sun. So they feel like I need to defend myself. Well, I'm gonna be a strong warrior here. So I'm gonna kick you back, which is one way of dealing with it. But in long term, it doesn't work because you're actually in a tight-knit relationship, and anger perpetuates anger, and you're gonna get more of that. So yes, anger, from my personal point of view, expressing anger is better than holding into resentment, because energy needs to go somewhere, and it's better to be expressed. And if you really feel like you need to express anger, I encourage you that you find a way how you express the anger, not towards the person you think is causing the issue of anger. Because at the end of the day, it's not because the father called you names, it's because you believe that the father had right to call you the names. Because if, for example, if I am in a high energy state and I'm completely confident myself, and if my father starts calling me names, so what? I start going through my mental loops like, okay, I feel slightly attacked, but I'm confident, so it's not about me. So there's no real attack here. So I'm starting here like what's happening, and so I start analyzing what's happening with that. So I know I'm fine. So I sort myself out, and then I have no need to express anger towards my dad. Of course, I don't want the dad keep attacking me. If he's actually attacking me and putting on, like, I get, whoa, like, keep a distance, please. You know, it's like, but then it's coming from love and like self-respect. It's not anger. So father doesn't really receive anger from me. So the energetical dynamics are much, much better. So coming back to what you can do in this situation, if you choose the path of anger, choose to redirect it somewhere else, because it's not the father's fault that he's expressing anger, and he's probably within himself, or he's not even aware that he's doing so. You're far better off redirecting anger somewhere else. And one of the best ways how to do that is distance yourself spatially from this person for a while and exercise it out. Do some physical movements, go to gym, yoga, run, calisthenics, like whatever your choice of physical expression, dancing, kickboxing, move your body. That will help you to channel this anger into physical movement. Energy will flush out, and then you can process what happened actually there, and then you can start seeing and acknowledging that you felt insecure, because that's the only reason why you would actually react with anger towards anyone, because there's insecurity within you. So definitely address that once you feel your energy levels are rising up and you feel like I'm actually able to face my own shit here. And that would be the best thing, because what happens if you don't manage to express and redirect anger somewhere else? Anger boils within you, so it will be anger suppression, and that's very dangerous, because even if you're able to hold off the anger because you know it's not helpful for your dad, not helpful for the situation, and you intend to not to express it so you intend to not to express it towards your dad because you know it's the right thing to do. Sometimes you just cannot avoid that. So, okay, mistakes happen. You can kind of express some of the anger towards your dad, but again, try to do as minimum as you can. You need not to kind of lash out. That's completely unnecessary. And again, now your dad will need to process those emotions, and you probably don't want him to deal with that stuff. And in my case, usually I'm the most conscious person in the whole scene. So I know I'm the most strongest person, so it falls onto me to process my emotions. So putting my load on my dad is just not fair for dad, because quite frankly my dad is not that aware of his emotions. He's not personal development into, so it's like it might take him a lot more legwork to actually deal with this stuff. And then again, because he probably does it a lot slower and in not efficient ways as I do, I will have to deal with the aftermath of that. So it's just a waste of time and waste of energy. So it doesn't make sense for me to do that. But sometimes it's just really hard to do that. So try to channel energy somewhere else. Like even like doing like this, you don't have to direct it at your dad. You just like you're able to express it right away in that spot, in that situation. Like you just need to release it. It's okay to release it on yourself, but try not to that's why people do this stuff. That's why they hurt themselves, is because they want to express anger. They know they don't want to hurt anyone, but they have so much anger that they end up hurting yourself. Make sure you don't hurt yourself, because you can always find the ways how to channel it without hurting yourself. And try to find something that is less explosive, let's say. Try to stretch it over time. So it's instead of trying to and that's another thing. People get to these high states of anger because they've been suppressing it for so long. We've been waiting for it, and they've been ignoring it for so long that once it's overwhelming, they cannot control. So another tip is don't wait. If you do choose to suppress your anger for a while, don't wait till it's too much, because when it's too much, you will not be able to control it. It's very likely to do some crazy stuff, either on someone else or yourself. So neither of those options are good for sustainability, so please don't do that. So another thing is that you might be very successful on holding that anger within you in a relationship with your father, in that conversation, and kind of like feels like a win, because you kind of calm it down. And you can calm it down also to your observing your mental chatter, mental dialogues, and that's a very important part here as well, because if you contribute mentally towards creating that anger, you literally what you're doing, you're manifesting, generating, and amplifying anger yourself. So please don't do that. So observe any thoughts, any judgments, any interpretation, any stories, meanings, what's happening. Like, for example, if you catch yourself saying, oh, how can he do that to me? Like, now I'm talking from the point of view of son. How can you do that to me? Like, I'm not a dog. How dare you call me dog? Like, these kind of arguments, which lead to conclusions that dad is the wrong one, I'm the right one, and he has no right to do this. It just creates more anger within me. So I'm literally what I'm doing, manifesting anger. And it could, like, depending on the situation, it could be that dad says something, he moves on, he just wants you to, let's say, be more active, do some stuff, be more responsible, just wants to teach you to be a responsible person, and he doesn't appreciate you lazing around and not doing anything. So he kind of like wants you to hear the message, so he puts a bit of anger in there, like, and he just moves on, he forget about it. But you there, sitting, creating all this anger, manufacturing yourself, when your dad had no intention of having that, and doesn't even realize that you're doing this stuff to yourself. So please be mindful and don't do these kind of things yourself. Mentally catch yourself and then be curious, like, okay, what do you do after? Okay, you catch yourself doing these stories, what can you do about them? Well, you get curious. You ask yourself, is it really true? Like, can I be really 100% sure? And when it comes to what other people think, you can never be 100% sure. Even if the person says to you what's happening in your mind, there's no way of knowing if it's 100% true. So whenever it comes to what other people think, their opinions, what they think of me, fact is, you will never know. Never ever. So if you're getting angry over what you think other people think, you're far better off acknowledging that it's actually me thinking what other person could be thinking of me, so it's actually me thinking. And once I realize that I'm the one who's doing the thinking instead of the other person, I'm actually able to take responsibility for my own emotions. Instead of projecting to someone else and thinking, oh, I'm acting is because they're doing this, they're calling me names, they're acting like this. That would be projection and blaming someone else for the thing that's actually happening within me. And it's not to neglect that the initial impulse of anger from your dad happened, it's not to neglect that, it's to say that, okay, this initial, let's on a scale from 1 to 10, let's say this impulse was at level 2. It's not to neglect that you receive, and I receive this as a son, this level 2 impulse, but what I do with this impulse is my responsibility. And if I choose consciously or subconsciously to bring it up to level 4, 6, 7, and let's say my threshold of controlling anger is 7, 8, and after 8 I'm just blowing up, like things go around, I'm willing to smash things, fight with people, like I'm not longer in control. I love to be in control, so I would, like, for example, personally, I would not let myself get to the level of 7 ever. I would just find a ways to release it before, because I really love being in control and in charge of my life. So my personal preference is, okay, if I see the anger too, I might be unconscious about it raising, because sometimes I don't realize that I'm doing it to my stuff. I see, let's say I catch that 5, it's already raging a bit, but I'm still in control. Like, I feel it, I want to express it. And what I can do is just start, like, what's happening? Distance a bit myself. Whoa, like, is it really that person? Is it me? And the fact is, it is always you. It's always you. Even if the initial thing was there, it's always you. You're the one creating and interpreting situations and dealing with your own emotions, because if it's within me, it's my emotion. I'm feeling it, even though if it's got fed from outside environment, and can be very confusing, especially for empaths, that lots of people dump emotions on you, and if they don't get processed, they just pile up, and then the third person come in, they have this small thing, let's say 0.5 of anger in there, like they don't register, like they don't even notice there, like 0.5, like really small thing, and it's like a maybe sarcastic joke or something, it's like, but because you're already like 6.9992, and that person is 0.5, like flips over, and then that's why I have these situations, because there's been this anger, it hasn't been released. And another thing, anger and emotions get stored in body. So even if you feel mentally clear and physically fine, you could be carrying lots of anger. So if you don't move yourself regularly, you start carrying emotions with you, and when it flips, when you keep on adding stuff, at some point it can flip. And personally, I don't want to experience that. So for me, it makes more sense to do regular physical activities. For me, it's yoga, walking, some other exercises throughout the day. So that's my procedure, and I recommend you to do that too, because if you regularly move your body, stretch and feel your muscles, specifically I exercise my neck a lot, because neck and shoulder are the two places where the stress gets accumulated. So if I regularly move my shoulders and neck, I can detect my anger, my emotions very fast, my stress in my body very fast, and release it. I can release it through movements by stretching, shaking, moving, weights, anything that flow, dance. So regularly releasing that is a great way for emotional management. So we kind of went on a tangent for Sun receiving this initial mark of level of 2, and he decided, I'm a warrior type, I'm gonna shoot back. So that's the direction of thought going in there. And then option is to not to express it to the person. So it's almost like suppression, and it's very healthy to do it consciously. Instead of calling suppression, you just limit it, block it out, and contain it. And then, of course, you stop creating it yourself, and then channel it somewhere else. If you need to be in the conversation longer, start channeling it somewhere else until you start releasing it. You can ask for a break, you can distance yourself. So distancing yourself is really nice, and then you channel it through the physical exercise in a healthy way. And make sure you not lash out to the third parties, because it's also possible that you lash out someone else because you forgot about the conflict. So make sure if you have this anger, it doesn't go anywhere, you need to release it consciously, because otherwise it stores in the body either as stiffness or disease. In my case, often if I'm not aware of any anger, it shows up as pimples on my face, That's suppressed anger, and there's many other symptoms that links to anger, and that's also one way how I help my clients. I get their physical symptoms and link back to emotions. So I say, okay, this symptom, let's say, I used to have lots of nosebleeds, so that means there's a lack of self-acknowledgement, crying for help basically, and need more like attention for myself. And then I can ask my client, do you have this dynamic somewhere in your life? And then I would say, yeah, actually I have it. So how do you know? And because there's always link, and the point is that if you have emotion, and if you don't release it, it stays and accumulates. And if you ignore it for long enough, you have fatigue, depression, burnouts, all these things that happen because you haven't been dealt with when you could have, and you try to ignore it and hope it would go away. Well, energy doesn't go anywhere. It needs to be expressed in one shape and form. I recommend you to do it in a healthy way. So I'm going to go towards other direction, which is repression. So I can also, when I come the first shot, I can start identifying myself as a victim. So I internalize it. So like, oh, it's my fault. Like, yes, Dad. Like, oh, how can I be this bad person here? Like I'm not worth anything. It's like going into self-pity, and that's not really healthy place to be. And it's also gathers lots of negative energy, makes me less wanting to do with things, and just goes negative spiral. And usually I don't deal with people like this many often because it's not me, and that's why I don't resonate it. But I would say the healthiest way how to get out of that place is you actually acknowledge anger and start expressing anger. So it's like for this person, acknowledging that there is actually anger because they live in this resentment. When you go look into the scale of consciousness, actually anger is the level up for that person. Anger is level up, so they don't need to express it necessarily, but at least they need to acknowledge that there is anger, there's call to action, change something. And once they're gone from this repressive state like guilt, shame, which is very, very low vibe energy, just get angry, like stop resentment, just get angry at something, your neighbor, your spouse, yourself, because whatever you can get yourself to raise your consciousness, take the opportunity, get angry, but you don't need to stay there. As soon as you feel that you're getting angry at someone else, start getting curious. Okay, what's the next step? Like, okay, I'm feeling angry at someone else, but it's not true, is it? Then I'm starting like, am I angry with myself? Yes, of course, I'm angry with myself because I want to change something, I need to do something. And first step would be, yes, I want to do something, but it's because of that person. It's still kind of projecting halfway. Like, I acknowledge, yeah, I'm angry, it's my fault, it's all me, but there's this other person whose fault it is that I'm angry. And that's fine. And then you move to the next level, like, okay, that person dropped this level 2 anger on me, and I cannot stand it, and okay, they don't do it anymore, but it's still within me. What do I do with it? And it's like, and then you just let it go, express it healthy ways, channel it, alchemize it, and just keep on moving up to your level of consciousness towards neutrality. Like okay, he called me name, so what? Like, what does it mean? Like, you're like completely blank, like, okay, I felt attacked, like, I'm still alive, like, there's no scars, he didn't punch me, the initial, like, a punch went away, it was painful, yeah, but like, shit happens, okay, and then it's neutral. And if you find yourself not being able to get to a neutrality state, there's always a call to action you haven't done. That's why you still stuck at anger stage, because anger is call to action. So what's the action? What's the one thing you need to change? So it's either one thing you have to change within yourself, or action how you present yourself. So it's always something you have to change within yourself. It's just about at what level of responsibility you're able to take that action. Because once you become conscious enough, you're able to pinpoint what specifically you did, what was your action that triggered your dad's response, and then you have a choice. Okay, if I lays down on a couch, when I know there's stuff to do, I'm likely to receive anger from my dad because he doesn't appreciate that. And then I have a choice, like, do I want to keep receiving anger and keep my right to just laze around and do nothing, or actually want to do the stuff and make sure that dad doesn't get angry at me, like, and maybe I just want to help my dad and heal his. Maybe I just want to have a conversation with dad, like, okay dad, like, you want me to do that, are you okay if I do it in 15 minutes, 10 minutes? You can have a dialogue. So there's always a call to action, and most of the times it's always a communication. So it's internal communication till your intuition says, okay, this is what I desire, this is what I want. Start focusing on what you want, and then once you know what you want, is it like, I want to be able to not do anything when I don't want to do anything, and I want to do that, like, you make a list what you want, and then you can communicate with your loved ones, like, okay, what do they want, and see where's the overlap. There's always an overlap. And yes, sometimes you have to give away some of your pride, like, I just want to be lazy and not do anything, because it's actually in your own interest to give away a bit of pride, because you actually want to be that strong person. That means doing stuff and meeting in part way. Okay, I want to be a strong person, but I also want to be relaxed. So you can have both, and it's about matter of communication, communicating what your dad needs, or what you need, what both of us needs, and just making into resolution. So yeah, so once you're past the stage that you need to express anger, you can start internalizing everything, and we already talked about it a bit. So what you do is always be curious about what you feel, what is it specifically, why is it there, and why would I even react. So whenever I catch myself in anger or any other emotion or resentment, I'm curious, like, why do I feel this urge to act this way? At the beginning it's just an urge, like, I don't have to do anything about it, just like I'm getting pulled to say certain things, like respond in certain ways, and I don't have to play out all the roles. Like, I don't have to believe anything happening in my mind and anything that's happening in my body, because that's a mistake many people make. They believe that whatever they hear in their minds and feel in their bodies, it's true, like it's absolute truth, and like that's them. Like, they identify with it so much, like, it's my feeling, so am I not allowed to express my feeling? Like, I'm angry, so it's like, you see, even how I use my words, like, I'm saying I'm angry, like, yeah, I'm an angry person, like, I need to be allowed to express my anger. Of course, you're allowed to express that anger. It's your choice to choose whatever role you want to play, and that's where I am comes into the play. Of course, you identify with an angry person, you're gonna have a lot of anger. I don't identify with myself with an angry person. Whenever anger comes to my way, it's like, it's not mine. Like, what are you doing here? Like, okay, anger, I feel the urge to go and play out their game of anger, which is usually conflict. I don't want conflict, so I don't identify with conflict. So it's like, okay, so what's happening here? Like, I'm starting to see, I'm distancing myself from emotion. It's not my emotion. Is it my dad's emotion? Maybe it's dad's emotion. As I'm looking at it, I receive. And if I feel it within myself and I feel like urge to do it, that means there's always something within me that attaches to this anger. So it's like there's always some kind of unresolved issue within me. But otherwise, it would just come. That's anger. That anger's gone. Like, comes. Okay, observe, gone. So if the anger doesn't leave on its own, then odds are that there's something within me, like I would say trauma, but not really trauma, like limiting belief or belief that no longer serves me, that needs to be resolved, let go, and that needs to be addressed or just taken out, looked at, and okay, I let you go. And there's many different techniques how to do that. Essentially, that's it. And noticing what's there, acknowledging what's there, acknowledging for what it is, and then looking at gift behind it, love behind it, and going deeper, deeper, deeper till you find the love. And it's kind of like, oh, yeah, it's so good. Like, you know, like, I'm so happy I had this anger from dad, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen this other thing which hurts my business, where I'm acting out the same dynamics. And thank you, dad, for just pushing me out. Or like dad asked me to do stuff, I didn't want to do it, but I have the same attitude of not doing things I need to be doing in my business. And if my dad didn't attack me, like in a sense attack me, I wouldn't have noticed that I have this attitude I don't like about myself in the first place. It's not about dad don't like about me. I don't like it myself first, because if it's only dad not liking me, I'm fine. Like there's no reaction within me. Like, hey, dad doesn't like me. Like who cares? Like his opinion. Like who cares about his opinion? I don't. Like I still love him, but he's entitled to his opinion of not liking certain aspects of me. Like that's another thing. Like he cannot like certain aspects of me, and I acknowledge that. Okay, you don't like certain aspects of me. Doesn't mean that he doesn't like me as a being. It's not true. So yeah, there are aspects he doesn't like me, and that's fine. Like I like that aspect, and I'm fine with that as well. But problem starts when that doesn't like me, that aspect of me. I also don't like that aspect of myself, and then that's the problem. Is then okay, if I don't like that aspect of myself, then it's most likely I'm suppressing that part of myself, and I haven't been seeing it, and it negatively affects me in some way. Like I used to be like very messy in my hair, like I would like really not care how it looks like at all. Like I would not even look in the mirror for weeks and months at end. Like who cares how I look? Like it's the inner world that's more important. But when I look back, it was very silly because yes, inner world is more important. But if I'm neglecting my outer appearances, then it's like I'm neglecting part of myself, and it's fine if I enjoy it. Like it doesn't make me a bad person if I look bad. But if I'm actively suppressing and not looking at this thing, and people are commenting it at me, and I feel emotion towards it, that means I actually want to look better than I'm looking right now. And that was a tough one for me to accept for a while. To accept that yes, I'm not looking as nice as I would like to, and there is a work involved, and I didn't want to do that work because I didn't know how to do it in a way that I wouldn't be doing out of pride and this macho thing. It's like, but the point is, responsibility is always within, and you get to choose how you take the responsibility. And the fastest way I've figured out how to help my clients is by raising the level of consciousness, moving up the map of consciousness scale. And the higher up you move, the more physical energy you have, the more things you can do, the more energy you can put into the things, so everything moves faster, more dynamic in life. And then that's from the physical part of you. Then from emotional part, there's more emotion into the whole process. Like relationships become more juicy, there's more laughter, more joy, more passion, and there's deeper connections forming, and there's so much love happening, and then going above and beyond, and everything's more harmonious. Like just like one awesome thing or other, magical moments come and go, like they're just boom boom boom. And from mental point of view, there's this clarity, like openness, like my mind is like a clear field, like it's like a clear view from top of the mountain. It's not only that I see everything sharp, I can see details focused if I want to, and as deep as I want to, but I also have this overview vision. And if someone talks to me, gives me a mark or anything, like calls me names, I actually see what's happening. Like it's not about me, or it is about me, and then I can acknowledge it immediately. And then I see what's their point of view, and I see both points of view at the same time. It's like I'm able to shift between the both point of view in real time in conversation, and then choose the best scenario. Do I want to choose to kind of play around with them, maybe just put a bit sarcastic joke in there, maybe I want to be silent and just compassion, maybe I want to be like not sarcastic but like just joyful joke, maybe I want to go there, and then I have to choose, and I make a choice, and then I see how that choice impacts them, and then I see like, okay, that didn't get received as much as I thought, and then I see they're actually in a different state than I thought we were, and then everything gets shifted from there, and then I shift my choices, and then I see how it shifts them, and just this really nice dynamic that I know what I need to do, and I find myself doing those things automatically just by setting intentions, setting out what do I want to do, how do I want to do it, and life becomes magical. So hope you found this video helpful. If you did, let me know by liking it, dropping hearts in the comment section so other people can connect to it, and benefit from it as well. If you found this video not useful, please let me know in the comment section what are specific questions I didn't address in this video. I know I talked a lot and there's so much more I could share with you. So if you feel like this video didn't resonate with you, do let me know. I would love to hear your opinions, views, and try to be as specific as you can, because that allows me to help you and actually create a better content for you, so you can have your energy raised, consciousness raised, and achieve your dreams faster. So hope to see you on the next one, and have it magical.